I made a mistake. I made a lot of mistakes.
Quite unfortunate.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to NTLP. My name is Nick, and this is the place to be for everything landscape photography. So today we are talking about mistakes beginners make and hopefully you can avoid while taking your landscape photos. So I have 5 mistakes that I've personally made, and I'm sure a whole bunch of other photographers have made as well. So I'm hoping that this video will kind of echo to you, resonate with you, and maybe you can avoid these mistakes that I did. So if you're ready, I'm ready. I'm gassed up on Peach Red Bull, not a sponsorship, just like it. It's good. So let's dive in, shall we? All right. Mistake number 1. I guess number 5. Yeah, we'll go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So mistake number 5 that I've made that hopefully that you guys will avoid is photo orientation. So when I first started landscape photography, my brain connected the two thoughts that while you're shooting landscapes, so you should be shooting in landscape orientation. It wasn't until about 2 years ago when I started flipping my camera to start shooting vertical, which is also known as portrait orientation. And it opened up a whole new world. When you're in portrait or vertical orientation, it creates a lot more room in your frame to have precise fore, mid, and background elements. And I personally think it also creates a better optical flow. Like your eye can hit the foreground, maybe you have a nice S curve of a river leading up to a mountain. It just flows a little bit better than a landscape orientation does. That's just my personal thought on that. Take it if you will. But photo orientation, you don't always have to shoot in landscape. Flip that bad boy. Flip it vertical and start taking some shots in portrait orientation. All right, mistake number 4 to avoid, if all possible, is not getting low. When us landscape photographers first start out, it's very easy to set up the tripod and just shoot everything at eye level or hold your camera at eye level while standing up. A lot of us forget to change up the composition maybe a little bit and get low to the ground. You'll start to introduce ground elements as your foreground, and that will open up a lot more possibilities and creativity to your landscape photos. So about 7 or 8 times out of 10, this tip could potentially help you make a more powerful photo opposed to just a mundane, ordinary landscape photo. So give it a try. Mistake number 4 to avoid, not getting low. So get low. All right, mistake number 3 to avoid is not practicing. Practice, practice, practice. By far, practicing is the most valuable tip I can give you. When I first started, I found myself immersed in a lot of books, a lot of YouTube video tutorials. Thank you for watching. I know you're probably here because you're trying to learn, but my advice to you would be to split your consumption of material with your actual out in the field practice 60 to 40%. So 40% would be consuming media, reading books, watching YouTube videos, and then the remaining 60% would be actually out in the field photographing, putting those whatever you learned on YouTube or what you read in a book to practice. For instance, let's say you wanted to know how to focus stack your image. I'll link up here to my video. Shameless plug. Consume that information and then on a Monday maybe, and then use the Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday to actually go out there and actually take those photos and see what you come up with. So that's my advice to you, is break it down 60-40. 60% of the time you're actually out there doing it. 40% you're learning new compositions, new techniques, new locations, what have you. So yeah, practice, and enjoy. All right. Mistake number 2 to avoid is timing. Timing is so key. I think a lot of us, when we first started, including myself, I found myself going out at unfavorable times where I was shooting in super harsh lighting conditions. There was no cloud overcast. It was like direct sunlight. And I got home and I'm like, well, my sky is blown out. This doesn't look good. That doesn't look good. Why are my photos not looking like all of the other photographers that I look up to? Why are my photos not looking like theirs? And the consensus that I came up with is that the majority of, I guess you could say, professional landscape photographers shoot during sunrise, sunset. It's that golden hour that just vibrates color all over the place. And it's what us landscape photographers are always trying to chase down. And that's what they're doing. So instead of going out at like high noon with no clouds, no overcast, direct sun, like hard-hitting sun, probably not your best option. Yes, there is a workaround. You can use ND filters that'll cut out some of the harshness of the sunlight, and it'll bring back some of the color, bring back your sky. That is an option. With that being said, I think your best option is to try to at least photograph during sunrise or sunset. Mistake number 1 to avoid, if all possible, is having the mindset that gear is everything. Gear is not everything, period. When I first started, I really thought that I needed to have the latest, the most badass camera out there. That is simply not the case whatsoever. I was in the same mindset of, with my phone, I tend to upgrade it every year. And when my previous phone, or the phone that I'm currently using, is working perfectly, like there's no reason for me to upgrade it. It's just I had that mindset, and Apple's trickery of look at my flashy new iPhone kind of deal. That was my mindset going into purchasing the latest gear. When I first started off, I think it was around a $600 camera setup, and then about a year later, I think we had like a $2,000 camera system or camera setup. Looking back now, hindsight's 2020. Like looking back now, the images that I got out of my $600 camera system compared to the images that I got out of my $2,000 camera system, they were no better, no worse. They were pretty much even. So you do not need to spend thousands upon thousands of dollars in camera gear. So my point is, I guess the conclusion to this video is that we're all human. I've made the mistakes. Other professional landscape photographers have made these mistakes. You might be making these mistakes. Maybe now, maybe eventually. We're all human. We're going to forget. We have tendencies to forget, and sometimes when we forget, we make these mistakes, right? So hopefully this video can mitigate some of these mistakes that I've made so that you don't do them. And if they did, get down there, hit that subscribe button, just smash it for future videos on everything landscape photography. Also, while you're down there, hit that like button. It'll tell YouTube to send this video out to potential newcomer landscape photographers. and maybe this video will help them too. And as always, if you have any questions, do not hesitate to leave a comment down in the comment section below. I will respond to each and every one of you. That is a promise. All right, so stay safe. Get out there, go get those epic shots. And I'll see you next week. Peace.